Hey, welcome everybody. We are about to start game four against the St. Louis Cardinals for our 1966 Sandy Koufax replay. It's going to be a doozy of a game. It's going to be Bob Gibson for the Cardinals versus Sandy Koufax for the Dodgers. And we're using original lineups, using baseball reference to track those and I'm going to go in a couple seconds. I'm going to go over a couple things. Now, my battery went out the other night, and I left the bottom of the ninth of Game Three to be played. It was April 12th. Um, April 12th. I have April 27th. Don't know why I have April 27th. 66. So that's an issue. I've got to find out why I have that going on. But probably messed up the date somehow. Um, that's game. So we're going to finish up that game. It's against the Dodgers. It's against the Cubs, rather. The Cubs. And let's finish that game up. It's in the bottom of the ninth inning. It's Williams, Santo, and Banks. And Koufax is going for a complete game victory. The score is 5-0. Let's get started with that. And then take a quick look at all these different dates that I have going on here. Here I have 1966, April 13th, and then I jumped to April 27th. So we played the Astros. That was, I believe, the first game he pitched. The second game he pitched was was April 17th. April 17th against the Cubs versus the Dodgers, and then they switched, and it was the Dodgers at Cubs. Let me see if I could track a pen here. So it's probably the 20. Next game is the 26th, so I'd say probably the 19th. But we will check that out. All right, we'll check that out in a little while. All right, let's get started here. In the bottom of the ninth inning, and it's going to be Williams. Everything's flying around. Got a nice strong fan here blowing. It's hot as can be. All right, it's going to be Williams, Billy Williams. So we're going to roll for Williams, and it's a 34, and that's going to be lifted to center field. Center fielder Fairley is out there. Don't remember him playing much center field, but he does play center field in this game. Ron Santo, 56. That's going to be a strikeout, and that's strikeout number 10 for Koufax. And then it's Ernie Banks here. Banks is 1 for 3 with a double in the fifth inning. And that's going to be driven into the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall. Hustling after it is Fairley. Fairley gets to it. Banks stops at second with his second double of the game, a 2-out double here in the bottom of the ninth, and a 5-0 game with Sandy Koufax going for his, what I believe is his first victory. He had a no decision game one. He had a loss in game two, and then here's game three. He's winning 5-0 here in the bottom of the ninth with 2 out. We have Lee, the pitcher, so we're going to have to pinch hit. And we have a couple of pinch hitters, potential pinch hitters. Let's see who we got going here. We have, in this game, they used Kessinger and Phillips. So I could use either one of those, Kessinger or Phillips. Now, these are original 93 cards. Got a little bit. I'm going to use Adolfo just because Why not? Adolfo Lopez, Adolfo Phillips. There's his card. Take a look at that. And he had some speed. He was an outfielder with pretty good speed, and he has some power as well. He has a 1 at 66, got a 11 at 15, a 10 at 25. So we're going to let him bat with Banks at second base, and he's going to pinch hit for, yeah, Banks is average speed. So we're going to hold because 5 runs down, it's not an important run right now. We have to score a whole bunch of runs. So what we're going to do is Phillips for Lee in the bottom of the ninth. And that's going to be A there. And here goes. And that's a swing and a miss, strike 3, and game's over. That's all she wrote for the Cubs. They lose it 5-0, and Koufax gets his shutout. Let's look at the stats here for Koufax. So he originally got a win. Here he gets a win. He went 9 innings originally. He goes 9 innings here. See how many hits he gave up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hits in this game. Gives up no runs. No earned runs. Walks, he walks 1, 2, 3. 3 walks. Same as he did in the original game. And then he strikes out 11. So a couple of differences. He gave up in the actual game, he gave up 2 more hits. And in the actual game, he gave up 1 extra run. So Koufax wins it. He goes to 1-1. And let's look at the next game now. Game 4. In this game, Koufax was he's 1-1 for us, right? But here he was with this win. He wins this game. He goes 9, gives up goes 9 innings, gives up 13 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. He gets the win. So that's where we're at right now, based on my data. So we're going to get started. It's going to be Lou Brock leading off, followed by the second baseman, Javier. Batting third is going to be Kurt Flood. Batting fourth is going to be Alex Johnson. Batting fifth, the third baseman, Charlie Smith. Batting sixth is the first baseman, Philip Gagliano, Gagliano, excuse me. Maxville, the shortstop, batting seventh. Pat Corrales, batting eighth. The catcher, and then Bob Gibson batting ninth. Gibson is an A, and he's an X. We're going to do the numbers for these guys. We're going to do a 2 for Brock, an 8-3-1, 8-3-1. Smith is a 4, so he's a average. Gagliano playing first is a 2, not very good. Maxville is an 8. Corrales, weak glove, and then Gibson a 2. Let's add these up. 10 to 14, 18, 20, 28, 34, 36. So these guys are going to be fielding column 2. And then for the Dodgers, I'm going to put these away now. Put the Cubs away. And for it's going to be Willie Davis leading it off. Let's look at that. Willie Davis, followed by Parker, the first baseman. So Willie Davis, followed by the first baseman Parker. Let's find him. There he is, Wes Parker. Got invaded by a roly-poly onto the field. There's your Koufax card. Then it's going to be Fairley, Lefevre, and Johnson. Fairley, Lefevre. Lefevre did not play in this game. Lefevre, Johnson, Lou Johnson, Roseboro, Gabby Roseboro, Oliver, Pee Wee Nathan Oliver, and then Kennedy, Rhett Kennedy, who's like a utility infielder type. Outstanding third baseman. He's at a 5 there. He's going to be batting 8th. And then batting 9th is Sandy Koufax. And we're going to get through this game pretty quick. We're going to get started right away. I'm going to take these numbers down super fast. 2, 5, 2, 5, and 2. 2, 5, and 2. Then it's 7. 7, 2, and 8. 7, 2, 8. Oliver is a 6 and a 5. Oh, Kennedy's playing short. Because at third we have Lefevre. So Kennedy's an 8 at short, and then Koufax is a 1. Koufax is an A, X, Y. All right, let's get started. It's going to be Lou Brock, Hall of Fame outfielder Lou Brock, known for his speed and his stolen bases, right? Here's the pitch. This is game 4 underway, 24, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Brock down on strikes, out number 1. Javier, 61, and that's going to be a fly ball. Right field. Right fielder Fairley. Ooh. And then here's Flood, Kurt Flood, 65, and that's popped up to the catcher for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the first. No score. And the Dodgers coming to bat. The nice thing about, you can play a lot of games with APA Basic. It moves pretty fast. That's a 15. Let's see what a 15 is. The left fielder is a 1. So that is, I believe it's going to be fielding column 2. That's going to be a single to left. So a single to left for Willie Davis. He's on at first. Wes Parker now. And that's a 33, and that's going to be a 0. So that's going to be laced into the gap. And that's going to roll all the way to the wall, and it's going to bounce around out there a little bit. And around third and scoring easily is Willie Davis, and standing up at third base is Parker with a RBI triple. Here to give the Dodgers a 1-0 game for Koufax, going for his second win in our replay. It's going to be Ron Fairley now, and the infield is going to be in a 26, and that's Javier is an 8. So that's pretty good. Pretty good infielder. That 26 with the infield is in, and that's through for a base hit. So because the infield was in, the ball gets through. RBI single, and it's 2-0 Dodgers. Lefevre, 63, and that's a fly ball center field, 1 away. Next is Sweet Lou Johnson. It's a 56, and that's a strikeout. Out number 2, and Roseboro, the catcher, 62, and that's a 12 with a runner on first. And that's going to be a force out for out number 3. But 2 runs come in on 3 hits. And at the end of 1, it's Dodgers 2 and Cardinals 0. Alex Johnson from Helena, Arkansas. That's right. And that's going to be a 12. It's going to be a strikeout, number 2 for Koufax. Charlie Smith, a 43. That's a swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3. And Gagliano, 56. And that's a strikeout. So Koufax strikes out the side here in the top of the second. Go to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Dodgers. It's going to be Oliver, Pee Wee Oliver, second baseman, 36. And that's a pop-up to the third baseman. He puts that one away. Kennedy. And that's a ground, that's a strikeout. Swing and a miss for Bob Gibson. His second strikeout. Next is Sandy Koufax. Koufax, 26, and that's strike 3. So we expect this to be quite a pitcher's duel here. 2 A's, and Koufax is an AC. It's going to be Maxwell, Corrales, and Gibson in the top of the third. 2-0 Dodgers, 4-6, and that's a strikeout number 5 for Koufax. 25-36. That's going to be a ball outside. 66, and that's going to be swung on and driven deep to right field, and that's going to be off the wall. Corrales into second base with a double. 1-out double. Corrales on at second now. He's slow. He's the catcher, so he's going to be moving station to station. Bob Gibson, the batter, and he lifts one to left field for out number 2. And you get Lou Brock, 55. That's an 8 with a runner on second. With a runner on second, an 8 against an A pitcher is going to be a ground ball to the third baseman for out number 3. So after 2.5, it's 2-0 Dodgers. Willie Davis is going to lead it off for Los Angeles. He singled his first time at bat and scored a run. It's a 64, and that's a strikeout. Number 4 for Bob Gibson. A 9. So it's swung on and grounded to the shortstop. And that's Maxwell over to first. Throws out Parker. 11. That's going to be swung on and driven into the gap, and that's going to roll to the wall. Fairly in to second base with a 2-out double. He's slow, so he's going to be holding on a single. And that's a 56, a 34. Is a pop-up. Second baseman Javier makes the catch for out number 3. We go to the top of the fourth. 2-0 Dodgers. Javier, the second baseman, Hooley is his nickname. Manuel Hooley, Manny Javier. Say 51, a 9. And that's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Out number 1. Next is Kurt Flood. 34, flies out to center field. 2 away. And Alex Johnson hits a grounder right at Kennedy, guns it to first. Out number 3, 3 up, 3 down here in the fourth for Koufax. It's Bob Gibson pitching against Sweet Lou Johnson. 31. That's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. 1 away. Roseboro next. Roseboro into a fielder's choice in the first at bat. And that's a strikeout. Number 5 for Gibson. And Pee Wee Oliver, who popped up to the third baseman this time, he's going to ground out right to Maxwell for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the top of the 5th. Moving along, just like I said, it's going to be Johnson. No, it's going to be Smith. Charles Smith. Here's the pitch, 26, and that's lifted to left. That goes the left fielder, makes the catch. Gagliano, a 23, the ground ball right at the second baseman. Oliver over to first, 2 away. And it's Maxwell who struck out in his first at bat. And here he lifts one into the gap. And that's going to drop in there. And Maxwell hustling around second. Here's the throw to third. And he's in there under the tag. So a 2-out triple for Dal Maxwell. And that puts the tying run at the plate and Pat Corrales. Here's the pitch to Corrales. And that's a 55, which is a 9. Let's see what that is against an AC pitcher. A 9, it's a fly out. Actually, with 2 outs, it's strike 3. So Corrales goes down swinging. And that's strikeout number 6. For Koufax. And John Kennedy. Red. Ground ball, second base. 1 away. Koufax, who struck out in his first at bat, 13, strikes out here again. That is number 6 for Gibson. Both pitchers have 6, and it's a 56 on Davis's card, and that's a swing and a miss. Number 7. 3 up, 3 down. Go to top of the 6th now. So Gibson leading it off for the Cardinals. .62, and that's a ground ball to the third baseman. 1 away. Lou Brock, who's 0 for 2. 51, that's a single. Up the middle. And Brock's always a threat to steal, and there he goes. Here's a throw. He is safe. Roseboro had no chance with the lead he got against Koufax. So Brock is on a second with a single and a stolen base. There's 1 out, and it's Javier. And that's a fly ball lifted to right field. Right fielder is Fairley. He's a 2. Fast to third, so tagging up is Brock. He makes it to third. There's 2 outs now. Runner on third, and it's Curt Flood. Here's Curt Flood. It's a 51, which is an 8. Against an A pitcher, that's a single, but he is also a C pitcher, and it's a single as well. So that's an RBI single. In to score is Brock, and Flood comes through with a 2-out single, scoring Lou Brock from third base. 2 out now, and Flood is on at first. It's Alex Johnson, and that's going to be strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for Koufax. And that's 1 run in the top of the 6th on 2 hits. Go to the bottom of the 6th now. It's 2-1 Dodgers leading it. Wes Parker, 33, and that's going to be driven into the gap. And that's going to roll to the wall. And Parker in at second with a stand-up double. Throws not nearly in time. So Parker's on at second. Ron Fairley. Say 51, that's a 9 against an A. With a runner on second. That's a ground ball to the shortstop. Shortstop over to his left, allowing Parker to go to third. 1 away. Lefevre now. Here's the pitch. Oh, and that ball's driven deep center field. Back goes Flood to the track, to the wall. That's a double off the wall, and that's going to score Parker. And Lefevre stops his second with what looked like potentially to be a home run. Looks like he hit it hard enough to be a home run, but wait a second. Hold on a second. That ball, no, the umpire is saying that's a home run. He's saying it's a home run, and Lefevre hits a 2-run shot. And it gives the Dodgers a 4-1 score now. Sweet Lou Johnson is up next. 62, and that's a ground ball to the third baseman for out number 2. And Roseboro now. 33, and that's driven into the gap. And that's going to roll all the way. No, that ball clears the fence. It's out of here. Roseboro, homers off Bob Gibson. So Gibson's given up 5 runs now. And it looks like 5 runs is usually where we pull the pitcher. And it looks like Bob Gibson is going to get driven from this ballgame. Believe it or not. As unbelievable as that sounds. And into pitch is going to be Nellie Briles. Briles is a B, and he is going to replace Gibson. And he's going to bat in Gibson's place as well in a 5-1 ball game. Oliver next. 36. And that's going to be 36 is a 33 with nobody on. That's a strikeout for the 3rd out. So Briles comes in and strikes out Oliver to end the inning, but the Dodgers pick up 3 big runs here in the bottom of the 6th and now lead 5-1. Going to the top of the 7th, Charles Smith, he's 0 for 2 on the day. That's going to be a 15-8, and that's going to be popped up to the 3rd baseman. He waits for it to come down and makes the catch. Next is Gagliano. That's fly ball, deep left field. Back goes Johnson to the track and makes the catch for out number 2. And next is Maxville, and then he swings and he misses for out number 3, and that's strikeout number 8 for Koufax. Kennedy, 43, and that's a ground ball right back to Briles. Feels his position, 1 away. Koufax up, he struck out twice, and that's a ball. And that's 3 times. Make it 3 times he strikes out. For out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th, there's 2 outs, and Willie Davis, who's 1 for 3. 62, it's a ground ball to the 3rd baseman for out number 3. We go to the top of the 8th inning. It's going to be Corrales, the pitcher spot, and Brock. 22, that's an 8 against an 8 pitcher. That's popped up to the left side. Calling it is 3rd baseman Lefevre. Makes the catch. Now we're going to bring in, let's see if we got a pinch hitter. Shannon. Shannon is a pinch hitter. And Williams was another pinch hitter for this game. So let's bring in Shannon. He actually played in this game. Pretty good card. The 1 of 66. So he's going to bat for the pitcher. And then we're going to bring in, let's see who we can bring in with a star. I brought in Briles already. Not too many relief pitchers during this era. I could have let Gibson go a little bit longer, but you know what? I was like, wow. All right, so we found somebody that we could bring in. He's back here. Woodschick. So he's going to pitch next, and that's he's an A pitcher. So here's the pitch to Shannon with 1 out in the top of the 8th. And that's a 10. And that's hit up the middle and through for a base hit. So say pinch hit. Single for Shannon. He pinch hit for Briles. In the top of the 8th. So there's a runner on first base now, Lou Brock. And that ball's hit hard right at the second baseman. Oliver over shortstop Kennedy. Back to first. Parker, 4-6-3 double play. And Koufax is out of the inning. Go to the bottom of the eighth. It's 5-1 Dodgers. Wes Parker leading it off. He's 2 for 3. He's got a double and a triple. And a 42. That's a 22. And that's a ground ball right at the pitcher who flips to the, the first baseman flips to the pitcher covering for out number 1. Ron Fairley is 2 for 3, a single and a double. And he singles again. So Ron Fairley hits it on the nose to center field. 1 out. Fairley's on at first. Fairley's going to go station to station since he's slow. And this is lifted to left field. Easy out for Johnson. Lefevre, who's 0 for 3. Wait a second. That was Lefevre. Sweet Lou Johnson is next. And that's lifted to center field for out number 3. Right there is Flood. So the Dodgers leave 1 here in the bottom of the 8th and fail to score. We go to the top of the 9th. This will be an opportunity for Koufax to get his 2nd consecutive complete game. Javier, 26, and that's fly ball to right field. Fairly there. Kurt Flood. Oh, that's hit deep into the gap. And that's going to roll to the wall, and Flood slides in under the tag at second base with a 1-out double against Sandy Koufax. Here's Alex Johnson. Alex Johnson is 0 for 3. Struck out twice and grounded out. And that's a 36, and that's a 33. Let's see what that becomes with a runner at second. That's a pop-up to the shortstop. Kennedy there for out number 2. And Charlie Smith, third baseman, who's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch to Smith. And that's a ground ball right at the shortstop. Kennedy fields it over to first. And out number 3. That's the ball game. Koufax wins it by a score of 5-1. Koufax gives up. It wasn't until the 5th that he gave up a triple. 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits, 5-hitter. Koufax pitches a 5-hitter. Let's compare and contrast what he did here. Koufax went 9, got the win, by the way. Gets the win just like he did in actuality. He's 2-1 in our replay. He gets the win. He goes 9, gives up 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, walks none, strikes out 8. Okay, so he goes 9, gives up way more hits in actuality, gives up 13 hits in this game, gives up 1 extra run, walks 1. In our replay, he walked none, but both times they strike out 8. So in our replay, he's 2-1, and in reality, he's 3-0. So that's the deal. The next game is game number 5, and that's going to be against Cincinnati at the Dodgers. It's going to be Helms, Rose, Pinson, Perez, Cardenas, Harper. Okay, and we're going to leave that at that for tonight. So I hope you enjoyed the game. It was fun playing Appa and relaxing a little bit. It was an exciting game for a while until the bottom of the 6th when 2-run homer by Lefevre followed by a Roseboro home run after Johnson grounded out. And those 3 runs were all that Koufax was going to need because Koufax was dealing, pitched a 5-hitter, and completed his 2nd consecutive game. So he's doing outstanding. And that's all. And I say goodbye, bid you farewell, and talk to you soon.